All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about something that is literally all around you, but you can't see it: RF surveillance. Our guide for this is a really fascinating report from Virtualization Options LLC. They're a technology research and advisory group based in Colorado. And what they've laid out are the hidden risks in the airwaves, and more importantly, how you can actually defend against them. So let's dive right in. I mean, just stop and think about it for a second. The air around you right now is just buzzing with these invisible signals. We're talking about data highways, carrying your Wi-Fi, your phone calls, even the little beep that unlocks your car. It's the invisible plumbing of our entire modern life. But here's the kicker, right? These same highways can be tapped. Someone could be listening in, and you'd never know. Okay, so before we can really wrap our heads around the threat, we've got to understand the signals themselves. It's time to make the invisible, well, visible. So this is all happening on what we call the radio frequency spectrum, or RF for short. Really, all it is a huge range of electromagnetic waves that our devices use to, well, to talk to each other. Think about it. Your phone, your Wi-Fi router, that keyless entry for your car, they're all just constantly chatting away on this spectrum. And, the best way to really picture this is to imagine the RF spectrum is like a giant invisible highway. You've got these slow lanes, right? That's for stuff like your AM/FM radio. But then you have these super fast express lanes for things like satellite TV and 5G. Every single wireless signal has its own lane, its own little space on this massive road. But just like any highway, this one has its dangers. You've got hijackers and eavesdroppers. This is where your private data can literally just leak out into the open air, creating these invisible threats that can put your whole business on the line. So that report from Virtualization Options really breaks this down into 3 key risks. First, you've got unintentional emissions. I mean, our own devices are just leaky by nature, broadcasting signals we don't even intend to send. Second, the stuff we are trying to send is often protected by weak encryption that's, well, pretty easy to crack. And third, attackers are always looking for those little vulnerabilities in the hardware or software that they can wiggle their way through. So you might be thinking, okay, but why does this really matter for my business? Well, the stakes are absolutely enormous. We're talking about protecting your trade secrets, your customers' private information, and keeping your competitive advantage. A single breach like this isn't just about the money you lose. It can completely wreck your reputation and your financial stability for years. And listen, this is not theoretical stuff. The report lays out this really chilling case study from the healthcare world. Picture this: a bad actor goes into a hospital waiting room and sets up a fake Wi-Fi network. They call it something like hospital guest Wi-Fi. An unsuspecting employee connects their phone to it, and boom. Just like that, sensitive patient data is getting siphoned off. It's a perfect example of how shockingly easy this can be in the real world. Okay, so we've established the threat is invisible, it's everywhere, and it's serious. So what do we do? How do we possibly fight back? Well, let's pop the hood on the Defender's Toolkit and see how the pros actually find and neutralize these invisible threats. I mean, that's really the fundamental question, isn't it? How in the world do you fight a threat you literally can't see or hear or touch? The answer is pretty simple, actually. You get the right tools to make it visible. And this is how you do it. Now, I know what you're thinking. This looks like a hacker's shopping list. And you're not wrong. But here's the key. Security pros use these exact same tools for defense. It's about knowing your enemy. They'll use Wireshark to watch all the data traffic in real time. They'll use a universal radio hacker to poke and prod at their own systems, looking for weak spots. They even use tools like the Wi-Fi Pineapple to run simulated attacks on themselves to find the holes in their own security before the bad guys do. But here's the crucial part. Tools alone are not enough, not even close. You can't just buy a box that solves this problem. The real solution is a strategy. It's all about building a defense in layers. And that research from Virtualization Options outlines this really smart 6-layer approach. The whole idea is to build walls within walls, like a medieval castle. You start on the outside with physical security. Then you add a layer for your network. Then another for your wireless signals. Then you protect your endpoints, your laptops and phones. Inside that, you secure the applications they're running. And at the very core, Protected by everything else is the data itself. Each layer backs up the one before it. So let's look at how this actually works. On the physical layer, you could literally build a shielded room. It's called a Faraday cage that just blocks RF signals from getting in or out. Total lockdown. But then on the wireless layer, you're using something like strong WPA3 encryption. That way, even if a signal does get out, all an attacker sees is a bunch of scrambled, unreadable garbage. But you could have all the best tech, the best strategy in the world, and it can all be brought down by one thing: people. The human element is so often the weakest link, which is why the report makes it crystal clear that these three things are absolutely non-negotiable. You need ongoing employee training on security best practices. You need a rock-solid incident response plan for when, not if, something goes wrong. And you have to be compliant with regulations like HIPAA and GDPR. And of course, security is never a one-and-done kind of thing. It's a constant cat and mouse game. As our own technology gets better, so do the threats. So let's take a quick peek at what's coming next on the horizon. A perfect example of this is the Internet of Things, or IoT. The promise is amazing, right? A world where everything is connected and making our lives easier. But the peril? Every single one of those smart coffee makers, thermostats, and security cameras is another potential doorway for an attacker to walk right through. It just massively expands what security pros call the attack surface. And there are other big challenges looming. The insane speeds of 5G could make attacks faster and much more sophisticated. We're starting to see AI-powered attacks that can learn and adapt on the fly, making them way harder to catch. And way out on the horizon, there's the big one, quantum computing, which could one day make today's encryption totally obsolete. So this brings us right back to where we started, the invisible air all around us. Right now, your business, your phone, your entire life is broadcasting signals. And after everything we've just talked about, the really powerful question that this report leaves us with is a simple one. Do you have any idea what your signals are saying? And more importantly, who else is listening?